Hi everybody! Today I'm gonna show you how to follow a pattern of the C2C technique and how to change colors. I will show you three different patterns: the chart, the written pattern and the block pattern. Let's get started! We will start to decide which pattern we want to follow. There are three different ways how to have a pattern regarding C2C. The first one is the simple chart, the second one is a written part, and the third one is with blocks. My favorite ones is blocks, but I will show you how to do for the three of them. So let's go in order. I say the first is the chart, one of the most common ones. But when you have a big pattern like a blanket, it can be a little bit tricky to follow it this way because it will be huge. Also printed it will be really big. Anyway, how it works. So we will start with number 1. That means that this one will be your first square. Then you will move to row 2 and you will have 2 squares. Then you will move to row 3 and you will have 3 squares. It will be that you work this way, this way, this way, then this way, corner, coming back, etc. And when you see the color squares, it means you have to change color, and I will show you later. The second one is the written pattern. You will see a legend with the colors, in this case they are just G and W for green and white, and it will refer as an acronym inside the pattern. So let's see how it works here. So we'll see row 1 and we have RS, that means right side, and I will show you how to mark it. W stays for white, by 1, it means by 1 squares, and here you will see the total of square in this row. So for example, in the second one it will be row 2, go in the other direction, wrong side, WS, white by 2, and in total we have 2 squares, and if we check together with the chart, that will make sense. So 1 square, 2 squares, etc. Instead, if we want to check the block system, is easier for me to follow, especially for big patterns, because it will tell me just where I am, so the row, and immediately the color with the number of the squares I have to do. So for example, here I will have to do 1 white, here I have to do 2 whites, here I have to do 3 whites, here will be 1 white, 2 green, 1 white, and then corner. In my opinion, this will be easier to follow. You decide which one you want. In the description, you will find a link to the pattern on my website with all the 3 different patterns, and you will decide which follow. You can print it, you can follow on iPad or on a laptop as you prefer. So let's take your pattern with you and let's get started. We will start with white. So we are gonna do 5 chains. We leave a little bit of a tail for later. And we do 5 chains, and then we follow the instruction of the mini C2C. I would like to remind you that at this link you will find my original video about mini C2C. This pattern can be followed also with the normal C2C, just as you prefer it. So we said 5 chains, so 1 and 5. Now we are gonna do 3 half double crochet starting from the 3rd loops from the hook. 1 and this is our first square. So now the pattern says we have to do 2 more, so we know that we are increasing. Okay, so we do again 5 chains and we do our 3 half double crochet. Now we turn and we do the second one, so we do our slip stitch in the 2 chain space, and we do the second one, 1, 2 and 3 half double crochet. So our pattern suggests us that we did the wrong side. Okay, so this will be the wrong side. So our right side will be, let me take those off, our right side will be this one. Okay, so how can we mark it? Simply with the stitch marker. So we mark that this one, which is our first stitch, is the right side. Now that we mark it, we go ahead. So now we are gonna do our 3rd row. The third row says we have just 3 squares like this one, so let's go ahead and do them. And here we are with our third row. Now the pattern says that for the fourth row we should do 1 white, 2 green and 1 white. So what we are gonna do is chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and doing our first one like normal. So and we did the first one. We turn, okay. Now we have to join here, but we have also to change color. So what we are gonna do is changing color with the slip stitch. So first of all, open this a little bit. You're gonna take the other color, in this case is green, and you're gonna do with a little bit of a tail a normal slip knot in the method that you prefer, and you leave it like this. Then we come back, we take our work already turned, then we enter in the 2 chain space, we took our green and we close our slip stitch. This way we change color. So now what's gonna happen is we are gonna take the long tail of the green and we do 2 chains, 1 and 2. Now what we are gonna do is also keeping this yarn with us and pass it through while we are crocheting in this 2 chain space. In this way we will secure the yarn. I show you. So with this hand we'll keep it here on the back, and here we do our 3 half double crochet. When we enter, then we keep also the yarn with us. And we do our first one, and then we do the other 2. So now we follow the pattern which says that we have to do another square green. So be careful to bring with you the white yarn. So in this way we are not gonna cut the yarn and we are using it later. So we do like this, slip stitch, bring the yarn with us, you pull it a little bit so you won't see on the other side, and then we do 1, 2 and our normal half double crochet, and you can see the yarn is here so we can keep it together. So now we have to do our last one with white. So as we did before, take our white yarn here, we take our 2 chain space and we do a slip stitch, but instead of taking the green yarn we are gonna take the white, keeping a little bit pulled the green one like this, and we close. So now we do our normal last one. Okay, so we have the 4th row done. Now we have to do the corner and the 5th row. So what it means, the corner, it means that we are not gonna increase, because in the next row we'll have 4 square again. So now we do the corner. If you don't remember how to do the corner and everything I'm doing now, in my previous video you see all the steps, how to do the corner, how to increase, how to decrease, etc. Here this tutorial is just to make you show how to follow a pattern and how to change color. So let's go ahead. We have to do the 5th row. That means we have to do a corner here. I'm not gonna increase. So what I'm gonna do now is just turning and doing my slip stitch to create a corner. And I'm gonna do all 4 white squares. Okay, I'm the end of row 5, and here you start to see that we have the corner. I'm gonna turn as usual, and now the pattern says 1 white, 2 green and 1 white. So what I'm gonna do is changing the color here. So I'm going here, I would keep this. So in this case, since we are not working in the round, I I can't use it again, okay, because you will see it. The alternative are you would have kept this through with you all the work around, but I don't like it because you can still see it. So in this case, I'm gonna cut this with a little bit of long tail. So cutting the yarn is one of the options. Of course, in this way you will have a lot of ends to wave at the end. There are other options. It's really up to you. In this case, I prefer cutting the yarn because it's a small pattern. I don't mind weave ends. If you have a big pattern like a blanket, my suggestion is create bobbins for each color and you will use them. You find a lot of videos online about this. This is how the pattern looks like from now. Now we are going to do the 7th row, which says to me that we have to do just 3 squares. So we are going to turn without increasing. We do our slip stitch and we proceed with the 3 squares. Now we did our 3 squares. I know the pattern doesn't say corner anymore, but we know that we are not going to increase anymore. So what we are going to do now is just doing a slip stitch. And we are going to turn our work and we proceed with row 8, which says just 2 squares. So I'm going to do my slip stitches and then 2 squares. Okay, now we're gonna do the last row, which says 1 square. So we are gonna turn our slip stitches and 1 square. And then we close with a slip stitch. And our work is done. So what's gonna happen now is we leave a long tail, we cut it, and we are gonna weave ends. So you will notice here that the right side is this one and is the one where I have the tails. Don't worry at all, you just keep your crochet hook and you're gonna turn them on the wrong side. And you're gonna weave ends on the wrong side. Let's take our needle, weave ends, and we'll see the work finished. And this is our work done, and if you want to compare with the chart, you will see it is actually the same pattern. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, I would like to ask you to put a like and to subscribe my channel. Here on the right, you can see the link to the previous video, how to do the mini C2C, and another of my videos. Have a lovely day!